How many of us struggle with sleep? All right, seems like most of us. Well, whether we struggle with sleep or not, this speech comes with some insightful information that might be useful to have in your back pocket the next time you are tossing and turning and can't sleep at night. And even if you personally don't find these tips useful, maybe you have a friend or a family member that could benefit from these suggestions. So if you are one to struggle with sleep or tossing and turning at night, here are some reasons you might be struggling. So you might be out of routine and your inner clock might be shifting. So when it comes to sleep, we teens, our frontal lobe is in the process of developing, which makes it our inner clock switches to a later time, trying to get us to sleep in later, giving us more time to sleep. But because of routine, we have to wake up early because of school or extracurriculars or even work. With that being said, though, it makes it more difficult for us to be able to catch sleep because we're out of routine. And our melatonin is being released later. Another thing would be blue lights. So how many of us kind of doom scroll for about 45 minutes to an unexpected amount of time without intentionally doing so? A lot of us do. But what you want to do is actually put the electronics away 2 hours before you go to sleep. Because the blue lights rewind our brains instead of unwind. So what you want to do instead is potentially do something that's either good for your brain, such as puzzles, crocheting, reading, coloring, or just meditating, journaling, deep breathing skills as well. So your and also things that may ruin it is your sleep schedule. So if you find yourself napping at 5 a.m. and waking up at 2 a.m. and now you can't sleep for the rest of the night, that's also why you can't sleep. And the final reason may be because you're not active enough during the day. So a lot of the time, especially as students, we find ourselves sitting for 7 hours a day. And because of that, we're also energetic. So if you don't burn that energy throughout the day, now you're going to sleep with all this wasted energy and you find yourself up for the next 5 hours instead of getting sleep. So some common side effects that are kind of obvious are fatigue, tiredness, slow movements, anxiety, stress, mood swings, accidents, and faulty brain function. Some not so common ones would be headaches and hallucinations, which can be more on the extreme side. They don't actually happen unless you go 3 to 4 days without sleep, sometimes a little bit longer. With that being said, though, stress can be one of the reasons why you're not sleeping as well. And it's kind of like a vicious cycle. So if you're stressed out and you don't realize it, or you do, but you just can't sleep because of stress, then you not getting sleep will cause more stress, and it's a vicious cycle. So something to help with sleep would be, like I said before, deep breathing exercises. In the military, you're supposed to be able to sleep within seconds, especially if you're in the war front. You don't know when you can sleep, so you gotta sleep and sleep now when you can. What they train is that you repeat a thought, a simple, relaxing word. A lot of people just choose the word sleep. And what you do with that is you just repeat it, and every time you exhale, you say the word, so just sleep. And the more you practice this, you'll fall asleep within 2 minutes. I do this before exams because I get really jittery and I'm like, oh no, the exam. And it helps a lot. So another thing, avoid caffeine in the evening or at night. So even if you think, I need to stay up, I need to study, or I need to finish this homework assignment, so if you have a study hall, that's great, and you can just use a study hall the next day. Trust me, not sleeping will actually hurt you more than help you to study. Because if you go back to what I said beforehand, your sleep, you'll forget things. It'll help mess up the memory issues, that's what I mean. So maybe don't drink that extra cup of coffee or the energy drink. So being more active throughout the day, so there's so many things you could do. Go for a jog. If you have questions about that, ask Bo. You could do other things such as join an extracurricular, because sometimes activity is not always physically, sometimes it's mentally. So you could join different clubs like chess club, Bible quiz, just regular quiz, I think it's what it's called. Just different things to make you think, so that way it kind of tires you out a bit more. Turning off electronics, that's a really big thing, guys. The more you really want your room to be an electronic-free zone. And if you can't do that, at least make your bed an electronic-free zone. You really just want to make it as simple as possible, no blue lights. Maybe put your phone on the nightstand instead of right beside you. That way, not only do you wake up early, like you actually wake up in the morning to turn off your alarm, you sleep better. And creating a comfortable bed. Maybe the reason why you're not sleeping is because your bed is uncomfortable. Maybe your blanket's not thick enough or durable enough. Maybe your bed frame is too small for you now. Just try and restructure it to make it more comfortable, so that way you actually enjoy sleeping. And creating a comfortable and reliable routine. So guys, just like adults, now granted we almost are adults, but just like adults, when they work their lives around their work, we need to be working our lives around our sleep schedule. And although that sounds boring, there are about 2 to 3 stages of life where we are most developing. So baby stage, when you're crawling and you're baby gibberish, and then everybody gets excited because, oh my gosh, they took their first steps. So now we're at the stage where we're almost adults. We're going to be doing our body's trying to cram in as much as possible. That's physically, emotionally, and mentally. We need sleep. We need to prioritize it. So, how many of you could have related to at least something I've said today? How many of you think that some of the problems I shared or solutions you now know may be helpful? Hopefully you find these helpful and can apply them to your life. And if not yours, maybe someone else's. Thank you.